I'm David Ben Moshe, and I have with me Chaim Ben Pesach. We are going to walk you through a show about immigration. We have a terrible immigration problem on our southern border. The Mexicans are flooding into this country, and unlike immigrants from years ago, if you remember the European immigrants, they came here wanting to be Americans. And there was a big discussion in America about letting these foreigners in. They thought they would change our language, our culture, and they thought they would commit a lot of crime. But these were Europeans, and how different is the culture from one European country to the next? Romania and Hungary, fairly similar. Hungary to Germany, similar. They're not the same, but they're similar. They're white, they're Christian, and the people that felt they could make a better life in America wanted to leave all of that old-fashioned or that old-world European culture behind and come to this country and become Americans. They took boats here, and they came by the steamship load, and they stopped at Welfare Island, Ellis Island, and some of them had their names changed, and some of them changed their names because they wanted to be Americans. They Americanized their names so it wouldn't sound so foreign-sounding here. Some of them kissed the ground when they got here. But all of them went to work. They got menial jobs at first. Some of them took 2 jobs. Families worked, and in those days it was unusual for the wife to work because in those days the man was the breadwinner, the woman stayed home and raised the children. But in this case, in New York, the women were sewing in the garment industry. They worked. They didn't commit crime. They didn't come here to steal. They came here to be Americans, and their sons and daughters was the great generation that led us out of the Depression and into victory of World War II. Now, jump ahead to today. We have Mexicans crossing the border, flying their Mexican flag when they get here. They don't want to come in legally and get online like everybody else, which I don't even want them here. It's a third world culture, and they have no place in here because you mix a third world culture with a first world culture, and you're watering down that first world culture. The third world people cannot keep up with the first world people. They commit crime. They drop out of school. Even those that work, their kids drop out of school. Their kids join gangs and commit tremendous violence. Just their initiations means many times they have to go out and shoot somebody. And if you're on this block and a guy with a different color of a gang crosses onto your block, they kill him. And that's the culture we're bringing in. That's the culture George Wetback Bush is bringing into this country. And he's pushing hard on it. And these people don't want to be Americans. They want money, some by working and some by working the system. They want entitlements. They come here with a list of demands, not a list of things they have to do to become Americans. And because of that, we are losing our nation, and everybody sits around and does very little about it. Now, George Bush is pushing hard on this amnesty immigration program, and he was all smiles when the Democrats won both houses. He figured now he's got a Congress he can work with. Now he's going to get his immigration bill through, and America will at long last be Mexico North. Well, we have to fight to stop that. And just the other day he said, if you don't back this immigration bill, and if you don't support this immigration bill, you're not Americans. You're not following what American tradition is that allowed immigration from all over the world here. Well, it wasn't all over the world. We had some minor Chinese, Japanese, as the job market dictated. But mostly it was European Christians coming to this country with a few Jews mixed in. And now that's all changed. And they can't keep up in school. They commit crime. They can't follow our language. They want us to use their language. At their schools, where it's a Mexican school, they fly the Mexican, well, it's majority Mexican, they fly the Mexican flag, and I've seen pictures with the Mexican flag, with the American flag underneath it, upside down. Let's have your opinion on this.
Well, let's just give a few statistics here. The United States is now 65% white Anglo, 35% non-white, or non-white Anglo. Now, I'm 50 years old. When I was a little boy, America was 90% white Anglo and 10% non-white Anglo. Now it's 65-35. In 40 years, we went from 90-10 to 65-35. If you let these filthy traitor politicians, these political prostitutes, these low-life, corrupt pieces of garbage in Washington from both parties If you allow them to open up this nation's borders, the borders are already open, and they want to open them even more. You allow them to continue, this country will not be worth living in. Do you see what our major cities look like? Do you want all of America to look like Washington, D.C., which is 90% chocolate and 10% nuts? Is that what you want? Do you want all of America to look like Atlanta or Newark or New Orleans or Los Angeles? Is that what you want in Los Angeles? They have school curriculum in 73 or 74 different languages. Is that what you want the future of this country to be, the United Nations? This is insane. This is national suicide. I mean, this is unbelievable. And we allow millions of Muslims into this country who hate this country, whose religion teaches them to destroy this country. We're allowing all the filth from all the world to come flooding in here. I mean, doesn't America mean anything to anyone? Isn't this country worth saving? Do you have any idea what this world would look like without the United States of America? Can you imagine a world without the United States of America? That Iranian animal, Ahmadinejad. Yamach Shmo v'zichro, may his name and memory be obliterated. That's a Hebrew blessing. That filthy pig said the day will come when there's going to be a world without America. And all the Muslims dream of that. That a world will come when America will be destroyed and there'll be a world without America. That's what he said. Can you imagine a world without America? And this is what we're allowing them to do? You know, they're not happy that we have 30 million people in this country who are not citizens, 20 million illegal aliens. In my opinion, it's about 20 million illegal aliens, and about 10 million other people on visas and this and that. They're not happy with that. Tens of millions of people are in this country from third world countries to add to the already huge third world population. That's not good enough. All the illegals that are flooding in here all the time, day and night, that's not good enough. They want to open the border even more. They say we need a guest worker program. Guest workers? The only people who could get jobs are illegal aliens in most cases now. A normal, intelligent, white, working class person has a very hard time getting a job or keeping a job, has to fear every day he's going to get fired or she's going to get fired. This has got to stop. And we've got to wake up and wake up fast, or this country is doomed. And you had better understand that your life is going to turn into a nightmare unless we understand that we've got to stop this. The establishment, which is the news media, and the multinational corporations and both political parties are determined to push this through, are determined to turn America into a third world banana republic. If we don't stop this, this country will not be worth living in, unless you want to live in a city like Gary, Indiana, or Detroit, Michigan, or the Bronx in New York City, or Washington, D.C., or a city like that. If that's what you want, hey, that's what's coming.
You know, a lot of people feel that, well, I'm in my 70s now, I won't be here to see this, so what difference does it make? But what kind of country do you want to leave your children and grandchildren? They won't be able to survive here. They'll be raped, they'll be murdered, they'll be mutilated. And that's if we don't have a nuclear explosion by those nutcases, the Muslims. And in future shows, we'll get into the Muslim religion. And
I just want to say, brother, I'm sorry to interrupt you quickly. I just want to quickly note, that's not our audience, the people in their 70s. YouTube is a young audience. But anyway, so don't worry. We're talking to people who know that their lives are going to be ruined. But anyway, go ahead.
Okay, also, try getting a job. Why should a company pay you $65,000 a year when they get some Mexican peasant to work for a few tacos a day? Just think about that.
We represent an organization called the Jewish Task Force, which is an organization that wants to save America, Israel, and Western civilization. You see our website, and this is our forum. It's an organization that is growing constantly. It's an organization of Jews and righteous Gentiles. It's a right-wing organization, unapologetically right-wing and uncompromising. Join with us. It is not over. We can still turn the tide if we have the will to survive. Shalom.